Yay! I healed my mistakes! Oh, shit. First on the scene, the early bird wins the worm. Good morning, Mr. Winner. How did you get here before me?
Good morning, Mr. Edgeworth. I see you've made an early start.
I may have. What you gonna do about it? And I see you've made a late one, Judge Gavelle.
This is not my only case. I am a very busy woman. Not all of us enjoy the freedom of a prosecutor relieved of his only current responsibility. Oh, I do apologize. I meant, of course, an associate attorney.
Associate? More like asinine. We'll see about that.
Eustace, let us begin the investigation of the yard.
Okay, I'll go get some officers to help.
Hold it!
That won't be necessary. Why not? We've already finished investigating the yard, and won quite the prize in the process. Won? But I'm supposed to be the winner. Your Honor, I'd like to revisit your theory from yesterday, in order to thoroughly disprove it. Imagine if you just said,
Nah.
what?
Nah, I don't wanna. I would caution you to choose your words carefully, Mr. Edgeworth. As I am sure you remember, your badge is in my hands.
God, woman. How could I forget? You told me several dozen times already. Perhaps you'd care to try a different threat?
Overruled.
You have been warned repeatedly, yes, and each time my words seem to have fallen on deaf ears. Allow me to make this crystal clear. The committee cannot and will not tolerate insubordination.
Objection!
The fate of my badge and the whims of the committee are of no concern to me now. The only thing that concerns me is proving Simeon Saint's innocence.
Interesting. And spoken like a true defense attorney. In that case, I shall be equally uncompromising. In the name of the goddess of justice, I will strike down your case without mercy. And when I am done, your career as a prosecutor will be over as well. I hope you do not come to regret this.
Let's go! Alright, what's your theory?
My theory remains the same as when I related it to you yesterday. Mr. Carcerato did not see Mr. Knight's body when he passed through the tunnel. As such, the body could only have been dropped what the fuck? I cannot English today.
Edgeworth, do you mind if I... Nah, I don't care, just do it.
As such, the body could only have been dropped down the well during the show. We both know the only one who could have dropped the body down there during the show is Mr. Saint.
That's still your assertion. And you can prove it, of course. Of course you can! Who do you think you're up against?
What Eustace means to say is that we received the final autopsy report just ahead of our arrival.
She really is a very busy woman. Busy looking after baby Winner.
The victim appears to have died the night before the body was discovered. In other words, the night before the show. The cause of death is as stated. It seems the wound is 4 inches deep.
Oh my god! Four inches doesn't sound like a lot, but whenever you actually look at it and it's a wound, good god. Okay, let me look at the autopsy report in detail here. Okay, Bronco Knight, age 24. Stab wound to the throat, instant death. Wound was 4 inches deep. Estimated time of death was between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. on the 27th. So the day before the show, okay?
Simeon Saint was off stage for a period of 15 minutes. That was plenty of time for him to throw the victim's body down the well.
Judge Gavel hasn't investigated the yard yet, which means... I fear there may be something of a flaw with your theory, Your Honor.
You seem very confident of that. But do you have any evidence to prove it?
Oh, yes. I think I just might. All right. Let's tear her down. That theory being that Mr. Saint was the killer. You're certainly clinging to it rather stubbornly.
And you are certainly clinging rather stubbornly to the idea that Mr. Saint wasn't the killer. Do you have any conclusive evidence that he wasn't? Any idea who the real killer might be?
I'd like to see what evidence you yourself have first.
I am an emissary of the goddess of justice. My words are her words. But her words are wasted on you, I see. You would challenge me if I said the sky was blue.
Is this a court or a cult? That's what I'm kind of like, goddamn, girl.
If you truly mean to refute the word of the divine, then come. Show me your evidence.
Girl, you scare me.
Hold it!
Isn't it possible that Mr. Carcereto simply failed to notice the body?
Assistant to the associate attorney. You have been through the secret passage, have you not?
Whoa, how did you know?
I noticed mud on you yesterday. On that charming key in your hair, to be precise.
That's incredible. You could be a great thief with eyes like that.
Answer me truthfully, in the name of the goddess. Would you or would you not have noticed a body had one been present?
Well, I guess I would have.
There you have it. Mr. Carcereto did not see a body, which means there was no body there to see.
Actually, there was, but I'm just saying. Could you talk us through your reasoning on that a little more?
The day before the performance, Mr. Knight borrowed the keys from Mr. Carcereto.
Or more specifically, the key to his cell.
Mr. Knight then used the key to leave his cell and enter Mr. Saint's cage. Mr. Saint took Mr. Knight to the yard in that cage, and that's where he killed him. The following day, Mr. Carcereto crawled his way through the tunnel, but there was no body there yet.
Well, wait a second. That doesn't add up. Mr. Carcereto smelled that sweet smell, so Mr. Knight must have been in the tunnel already.
No, his body did not pass through the tunnel until sometime after Mr. Carcereto had crawled through it. Mr. Carcereto used the tunnel right around the time the show was starting. The body was discovered just after the performance ended.
From which you deduce that the body could only have been thrown down the well during the show.
Yes, and who the culprit must be.
Are you sure about that? Could nobody else have done it?
I understand that Miss Barry was on stage for the entire performance. Most of the prisoners were watching the show. And those who were not have plausible alibis.
What about the guards?
They too were watching the show, as was the warden.
How can you be so sure? A guard could have easily approached the well unnoticed.
None of the guards left their posts during the show. I have checked this for myself, you know. I took statements from each and every one of them.
Ugh. She's thorough, I'll give her that.
Are you finally ready to accept the truth? That the killer could have only been Simeon Saint?
Judge Gavel hasn't carried out a full investigation of the yard yet.
Which means we've got the advantage for a change.
I should review the evidence we gathered during our investigation of the yard. Okay, I know which statement to go through. We both know the only one who could have dropped the body down there during the show is Mr. Saint. That is a lie. Well, I mean, it's not technically true. With Mr. Saint's trick, technically, anybody could have really replaced the weights. So, I was right. Sorry, Your Honor, but there's something else you're going to have to take into account. The well in the yard was rigged up to create a certain unique contraption.
A contraption? Go on.
You will recall that Mr. Saint was sent flying from the stage by the elephant.
I do. Just before he was to be absent for some time.
He was only able to fly through the air thanks to a weighted rope he tied around himself. Dropping the weighted end down the well allowed him to complete the trick.
Objection!
Wait, wouldn't that send him flying as soon as he set foot on the stage?
Hold it!
It's simple, really. He kept the weight from falling by using a stake to keep the rope in place. With a second rope, he was able to pull the stake free, thereby controlling when the weight was dropped. We have found evidence to suggest that the original weight was replaced with Knight's body. This was done by the real killer in order to create an alibi. The estimated time of death tells us that the murder took place early in the morning. The killer could have tampered with the contraption in the time between the murder and the show.
Objection!
You're saying Mr. Saint himself sets this contraption up, right? Well then, who do you think is the number one most likely person to have used it to dispose of a body, Even you must see how this looks.
Objection!
If Mr. Saint was the killer, he could have simply done as Judge Gavetto theorized, without these extra steps. Miss Barry!
Yes?
Does anyone else know how Mr. Saint's trick works?
Well, let's see. We had to get the prison's approval on what we were going to perform. So I don't think Simeon's the only one who knows.
And there you have it.
Overruled!
Interesting. You have certainly been diligent in your investigation. And yet I fail to comprehend your actions still. Why do you not work to do what is right?
Is what I am doing wrong? If so, who is it that deems it so? Wait a minute, I can gander a guess what you're about to say.
How can you not grasp even that? How can you not see that you are doing wrong at this very moment? You are a prosecutor and yet you aid the defense? This flies in the face of common sense. You are breaking every rule in the book.
I think only of what is right and just, and act as I see fit in each situation I am confronted with. This is the path I have chosen, and whether you can comprehend that choice is immaterial. But if you mean to stand in my way, I will fight back with all I can bring to bear. Sorry, I'm just, that's my boy.
Perhaps the goddess of justice is testing me. Very well. If it is her will that we must fight, then I shall end this once and for all. Listen well, Mr. Edgeworth, for there is another reason why only Mr. Saint can be the killer.
All right, let's hear it. Round 2.
If the body was moved from the yard to the workshop, then Mr. Knight must have first been brought here to the yard from his cell. The only person who had the opportunity to do that is Simeon Saint. And thus, he remains the only plausible suspect. Mr. Saint took a cage with him to Mr. Knight's cell. But why would he do that? Why take such an unwieldy object all the way to the holding cells?
Yeah, it is pretty sus.
Did you just... We're going to have a talk about this whenever we get back to my office.
What?
But we've all met Mr. Saint. That's exactly the kind of thing he would do. It's entirely plausible that he took the cage with him out of absent-mindedness and nothing else.
It may be plausible, but it is no more or less plausible than him having helped Mr. Knight to escape. I need some real solid evidence if I'm going to get her to budge.
Hold it!
Alright, let's begin. You seem to think that Mr. Knight was killed here in the yard. When do you think he was brought here?
Sometime between midnight and 8 a.m. The day of the show. It could only have been during that time.
In other words, between the end of rehearsal and the start of the performance.
As I was saying, if the body was moved from the yard to the workshop,
Hold it!
Was there really no other way he could have come here?
Mr. Knight was awaiting trial. If he, a random non-inmate, had openly entered the prison proper, he surely would have been noticed.
And presumably none of your witnesses have testified to having seen such a thing.
Precisely. Praise be to the goddess of justice for granting you this insight.
I feel like you're mocking me.
I will not confirm or deny that. So, as you will agree, it can only be that Mr. Knight was brought over here in secret.
Hold it!
You're certain nobody else had the opportunity. Well, that's not necessarily true. There is a piece... Wait, is it an actual piece of evidence? Hold on, let me look. Shit, what would I use? The breakers, or... I guess that's security cam footage. Because technically, since the cameras were off for approximately like 3 hours, that would give anybody enough time to set everything up, as well as hide the original weights.
Need I remind you that we are in a prison? The entire facility is monitored at all times. Anything out of the ordinary would have been spotted.
We've gone over this, Gavel, and I think I know what I have to do.
Hold it!
But Mr. Saint was under that same scrutiny, was he not?
Overruled!
The warden had granted the members of the circus troupe special access. As a member of that troupe under the supervision of Miss Barry, he is the only person who is free to wander where he willed.
Objection!
It seems you've forgotten something, Your Honor.
Overruled!
Forget is not a word in my vocabulary, Mr. Edgeworth.
Very well. Then recall this fact, if you will. You claim that Mr. Saint is the only person who was free to walk around the prison. But there was a brief period of time on the day of the crime in this prison. A time when it would have been possible for anyone to move through the prison entirely unmonitored.
What do I have that shows that there was a period on the day of the crime where oversight was limited?
Oh,
Take that!
this! Mr. Saint is far from the only one who had the opportunity.
Which opportunity are we talking about again?
We'd previously established that the time code on the security footage was off by 3 hours. And from this, we can deduce that there must have been a power outage lasting for that length of time, during which anyone could have moved around the prison undetected.
Do you mean to say that our killer intentionally created this 3-hour gap? That it was no simple camera malfunction? Is that even possible?
It was completely possible to create the 3-hour gap. Using this, the evidence that the breakers were tampered with.
Take that!
Our investigation of the yard turned up something rather interesting. A panel of breakers, one which can be used to cut the power to the security cameras. We also learned that the door to the power room may have been opened at around the time of the murder. What? He's gonna freaking develop a callus on that cheek, and he's gonna have a wicked little mark.
Such a shame. To see one so capable fall so short of the mark.
Mr. Edgeworth knows what he's doing!
Then how does he explain the lock on the power room door?
Oh yeah, it was kinda locked up tight. And the warden's the only one with the key.
Those breakers are vital to the prison's infrastructure. So I very much doubt that anyone could have gained access to the power room's key so easily.
Objection!
Oh, you ignoramus. No. But one person could have. I beg your pardon? That person, the killer, had easy access to it, in fact. And what's more, their position here is such that nobody would dare question them. Fifi Laguarde.
Objection!
What? There's no one like that! The breaker to the electric fence is in there. They would be questioned in an instant.
There's only one person who meets these criteria. I can hardly believe it myself, but I have to follow where the logic leads. The person who had access to the power room key was... It was Fifi Laguarde.
Take that!
The real culprit is... Oh, Missile does not like her. Warden Laguarde.
Oh, just look at you. Aren't you the cutest little poochie woo?
He's not just a pretty face. Missile also has quite the nose for sweet things. It seems he's smelling something very sweet indeed, and it's coming from you.
Oh, darling, you're making me blush. I'm not even wearing perfume.
And then perhaps it is the sweet stench of death.
You're a regular poet, aren't you? I had no idea. But if I didn't know better, I'd almost think you were calling moi the killer.
But that is precisely what I'm calling you.
What?
Warden Laguarde is the killer? Mr. Edgeworth, do you realize what you're saying? Such a naughty boy. How could he suspect me? I'm the one in charge around here. It's like we're in a murder mystery, aren't we? And equally far-fetched. This is preposterous!
Hold it!
Sadly, it is not. Although I can hardly believe it myself. But this is where the evidence points. And we must trust in the evidence. This piece of evidence proves that Warden Laguarde is the killer. Wait a minute. Hold on. Do I have anything in here that's... Am I seriously gonna bring this back up again because of the sweet smell? Missile is picking up the scent on Laguarde, isn't he?
Take that!
Am I right? Son of a bitch, I'm right. Your scent betrays you, Warden. And here is your accuser!
The police dog?
We had him track a sweet scent that was lingering around Knight's body back when it was first found. He now appears to be smelling the same scent. And it's coming from you.
Oh, darling, you're priceless, really you are. Your evidence is a whiff of suspicion. Verity, dear, do put him in his place.
Oh my god, she's... Come on, Gavel! It seems Judge Gavel may have reached a similar conclusion to myself.
You believe this to be no mere coincidence, Mr. Edgeworth?
I do. After all, she had the key, and the scent found lingering on the body is hers as well. Were it just one or the other, we might be able to brush it off as coincidence. However...
Indeed. Then it seems a conclusion approaches. Perhaps we should hear what the warden has to say for herself.
We should. And when we have, this case will finally be at an end.
You're all being simply awful. Stop looking at me like that. Me, the killer? How could I possibly do such a thing?
Oh boy, here we go.
Verity told me everything she knows about the case, sweetie. The victim died in his cell, so by your logic, I would have had to have killed him there. But how am I supposed to have moved the body? Especially as I never went into the prison. I was too busy with work, you see. I was cooped up in my office until right before the show began. Check if you like, you won't find a record anywhere of me having entered or left the prison proper. I haven't the first idea what harebrained theories you little scamps have cooked up, but I'm innocent. There's simply no way I could be the killer.
Give me a break. Missile doesn't lie. Don't make it hard on everyone and just come clean.
Oh dear. I'm afraid you are the one making things difficult. As I just said, I never went into the prison. If you think I'm lying, go and check the records.
She clearly wants us to check those records, which means they won't help us. We'll just have to find another way of getting the truth out of her.
Please, Mr. Edgeworth, stop being a big silly. You made a boo-boo and you know it.
The way she talks is freaking me out now. Also, I just noticed that little parrot that's up there, the little blue parrot.
Hold it!
Judge Givell told you everything. Are you close?
Thick as thieves, darling. Why do you ask? Are you jealous?
Jealous? Of what?
I had to ask Warden Laguarde for a lot of information on the first day of our investigation. It seemed only right that I share some information in return. Oh, Verity, do you have to make it sound so awfully dry? I thought we had a lovely chat. I simply shared the truth in our conversation. It was the least I could do.
I'm not sure what's going on, but these two, they're terrifyingly formidable together. You could say that again. They're terrifyingly formidable together.
Hold it!
The murder took place in his cell. You seem very happy to accept that.
And why shouldn't I be? It seems the most likely place for it to have happened without drawing attention. And besides, they found Knight's blood in his cell.
Yes, but that was from being struck by Mr. Carcereto. Though I needn't tell her that, I suppose. I take it there's also been no testimony to the contrary?
What does it matter? Not being killed in his cell doesn't go against any of the facts anyway.
Hold it!
Do you have any evidence that you didn't enter the prison?
Please, darling, let me finish.
So, you were in your office the whole time, and you didn't notice anything unusual? Oh, oh, there's a typo.
No, I can't say that I did.
And you didn't notice anything missing?
I must confess I'm a rather messy girl. And a forgetful one at that. I put something down and it's lost forever. It's a curse, darling, a curse. I even lost some important evidence recently. It was gone. Poof! Just like that.
What? What? And she still has a job?
Honestly, if somebody came into my office and took something, it might be years before I noticed.
Ugh. Seems like I'll need more than the powder room key to expose her.
On the day of the murder, I was working in my office. Oh, and looking for something I'd misplaced. Even if I'd had a reason to go into the prison, I simply wouldn't have had the time.
You simply wouldn't have had the time.
Hold it!
Sure, maybe you didn't go through the main entrance to the prison. But what if you took another route?
Oh, come now, sweetie. Surely you don't mean that awful, filthy tunnel they discovered? Why, until yesterday, I had no idea it even existed.
No, you had another way in. I'm certain of it. A route that didn't require going through the main entrance or the tunnel. The route you took went through this location.
Let's see.
It would have to be the yard.
Take that!
Through the fence?
Warden, you took Knight from his cell and brought him to your office, which just happens to be connected to the yard. If you had a way through the fence, then you would have been able to circumvent both the entrance and the tunnel.
A gold star for creativity, darling. And how would I have gone through the fence, The extremely high fence topped with razor wire with thousands of volts of electricity going through it?
Yeah, how is she supposed to have gone through that,
The fence's electricity supply can be cut off from the power room. And only you had the key, Warden. No one but you could have done it.
Utterly ridiculous. The power room is on the prison side of the yard. Warden Laguarde was on the detention center side. How would she have even reached the power room? Exactly, Verity, darling. Well, clever puss, you've dug yourself a real hole now. If there is no record of Warden Laguarde having entered the prison proper, then the idea that she could have shut off the fence by using the breaker is out of the question.
Have you ever thought about that she might have had an accomplice? We've already got evidence that a guard was able to take the key to unlock the power room. Who's to say that she just gave the key to somebody else who could be an accomplice, go to the power room, turn off the electricity of the fence, and then let her through? But there must be some way she could have done it!
Take a deep breath, big guy. Lose your cool and you've lost everything.
But if I don't find a solution, she might still wriggle out of this!
Hey, I said take a deep breath. Not freak out and completely lose your cool. There's nothing to be gained by banging your head against the same wall, yeah?
No matter how you look at it, Warden Laguarde couldn't have done it alone.
Mr. Edgeworth, if you cannot find it... You aren't doing yourself any favors by obstructing justice with your silence.
That was a reflexive objection. But now that I've yelled it, if I don't come up with an answer, it's all over! I have one more thing to add, if you'll permit me.
Something that explains how the warden could have shut off the breaker from the wrong side of the fence?
Yes, because it's not as impossible as it seems.
What enabled her to shut off the breakers?
An accomplice. At the time of the murder, it's an accomplice. She couldn't have done it alone, but what if she wasn't alone?
Oh, now we're talking. Way to flex the old gray matter, kiddo.
I believe that Warden Laguarde had an accomplice.
Enough. You disappoint me, Mr. Edgeworth.
What do you mean? Mr. Edgeworth has said nothing wrong.
The inmates of this prison are all issued with security bracelets.
Somebody's bracelet wasn't working.
The ones that raise the alarm if people go where they're not supposed to...
I see that you've realized your error. And we are, of course, within the prison grounds. We're not only the bracelets worn, but even the guards surveil each other for signs of wrongdoing.
And despite all that, no one noticed Mr. Carcerato's escape.
The only ones who are free to roam are the animals. And they most certainly could not have operated the breaker.
No. So, our accomplice must be human.
Then who did it? Give that it cannot have been a prisoner or a guard.
Oi! I'm not done yet! I wouldn't be so quick to rule out either, Your Honor. The fact is, there is one person. Someone whose movements weren't restricted. And I have just the evidence to show who that free-roaming person was.
Take that!
This is one of the prisoner's bracelets.
Indeed. A broken bracelet belonging to a certain self-proclaimed model prisoner.
What do you mean? And who is this prisoner?
Frank saw it. Warden Laguarde's favorite inmate. Ooh, that's a new expression. It's strange, isn't it, Warden, that he was able to keep his broken bracelet hidden and wander freely around the prison all the while?
That is pretty funky, and I don't mean in a good way.
It couldn't be the case that he was permitted some sort of special leeway, could it? Although you are in the habit of giving such leeway to certain others. Bodhidharma kindness, for example.
Mr. Edgeworth, that is pure speculation.
In that case, why don't we ask Mr. Sort himself? I'm confident he will confirm for us that he and Warden Laguarde were accomplices in this crime. If the two of them had worked together, a certain route into the prison becomes viable. The real route by which Knight was moved from his cell to the prison proper. Recall that there were two big obstacles in her path. First, the security camera outside Knight's cell. Second, the electrified fence in the yard. But she was able to remove both obstacles in one fell swoop by having Mr. Saw shut off the corresponding breakers.
All right, Mr. Edgeworth, you've had your fun.
And? Do you still deny it, Warden Laguarde?
No, darling, you got me. I admit it.
What?
Warden? To tell me this isn't true. Sorry, Verity, honey. I'm afraid it is. Frankie helped me do it.
No way! You did it, Mr. Edgeworth, you got her!
But something's very wrong here. Why is she...
Nice shooting, cowboy. She won't be wriggling out of this now.
As Mr. Edgeworth said, I had Frankie switch off the breaker. But we didn't kill Knight, did we? Oh, sweetums, no, we didn't.
What?
Warden, explain yourself. Oh, Verity dear, I doubt your precious goddess will want to hear my excuses now. She is all merciful. You have but to confess, and you shall be saved. Oh gosh, all right. I was being threatened. I had no choice but to do as he said.
Who's he?
Bodhidharma Canis, that awful assassin.
Canis?
How long has it been since that awful man came back here to my beautiful prison? I'll never forget the day he arrived. The moment we were alone, he said this to me.
You should know that I have other dogs. Dogs not confined to this fine institution.
Others?
Yes, very loyal dogs. Dogs who will do anything I ask of them.
Of course, he wasn't talking about real dogs. He was talking about his very human cronies. And then he said one last thing.
I would recommend that you take care in how you treat me during my stay here. I wouldn't want to have to send my dogs on you, or your precious family.
I had no choice. I gave him that cell. I gave him everything he asked for.
Everything? Wait. Is that how we became the Fixer?
Yes, darling. I obeyed his every command and smuggled in for him all that he wanted. Eventually, I brought dear sweet Frankie into our little conspiracy. He agreed right away, of course, because I made things easier for him, too. So you were smuggling in contraband? How exactly? Once a week, late at night, Frankie would shut off the breakers. That allowed me to go from my office into the yard without being seen by the cameras. Then I simply dropped the packages down the whale on the prison side and went back through the fence.
Holy shit.
Each one of them spritzed with a little of my perfume.
That bottle just makes me think, do you want to smell like an Arctic fox? So that's what the sweet smell was.
Yes, it was a signal for Canis's dog. When he picked up the scent, he'd fetch the packages and bring them back to his master. We had to make sure Rocco wasn't in his cell at the time, of course.
Can't have been easy keeping him from finding out.
Oh, we're all very much creatures of habit here at the prison, darling. Everything runs to schedule, meals, exercise hours, that sort of thing. We knew when he wasn't there. And that adorable little bear of his freezes with fright at the sight of Canis's dog. Poor thing. So there was no risk of him raising the alarm either. She has oversight over everything here at the prison, which made her the perfect mule. With her on his side, Canis couldn't fail. Frankie would sneak out again early in the morning to switch the breakers back on, and our work was done. Apart from fixing the time codes and the cameras, which I'd do later when I got the chance. You have shared a great deal, Warden. The goddess of justice will surely take your honesty into account. I've been the most dreadful fool, I know I have. I'm supposed to be the one in charge. The day of Knight's murder was also one of our deliverer days. And so Frankie, bless his heart, did his usual work with the breakers. But there was no package for me to deliver that day, so I didn't go out into the yard.
So that's the secret behind the fixer's system, and why she was...
The police have been trying to track down his accomplices for the longest time. Even I've had to lend them a hand myself, you know. Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel into my office to talk to me. But no matter what I say or how much evidence I present him with, he simply won't say a word.
That's why you were interrogating Mr. Canis over and over. What the hell? That's a new look.
Exactly. I was trying to track down those horrible hench people of his. I borrowed everything the police had on that rotten scoundrel. I watched his every move, intercepted every letter he wrote.
His letters? Then I suppose she must know about his correspondence chess games, too.
But no matter what I did, I couldn't turn up any clues as to who his underlings were. Living in fear like this, it's... Oh, you just can't comprehend it. As you have just heard for yourself, Mr. Edgeworth, the words of Warden Laguarde's confessions have cleansed her of all suspicion.
I wouldn't say that.
Surely there's no need to hound her any longer.
Has she really been cleared of all suspicion, though? Or is there more about her to uncover? I personally think that there's definitely more to go, you know? I'm sorry, Your Honor, but this conversation isn't over yet. And I think the Goddess of Justice would agree.
So you mean to make her suffer more than she already has?
Unfortunately, her suffering under Mr. Canis does nothing to prove her innocence in Knight's murder. She admitted herself that she knew of and even facilitated the so-called Fixer's delivery route. I believe she used that same route to move Knight's body.
And where is your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth?
It's in the fact that the sweet smell on Knight's body is the exact same scent Warden Laguarde uses to signal a delivery. What do you make of that?
Well, that's because we've done it so many times by now that the whole well probably smells of it. Some of it must have just rubbed off on his body. That does match the statement that Mr. Carcereto provided.
A smell? Yeah, always smelled kinda nice down there.
Nice.
Gee, I don't know. Smells sort of like dessert, I guess.
His words would seem to suggest that the smell had permeated the well. Ugh! You've been rendered speechless, I see. Then I hereby move to adjourn this session of the court.
No! What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth?
What can I do?
Is this as far as we go?
Finally, so we're actually done?
Yes, Eustace. It seems we are.
No, we're not.
By the power vested in me, this court is adjourned!